Revolutionary greetings. This is Kilaika Baruti. I'm the Executive Financial Administrator of George Jackson University. And we have put together a series of video biographies of our comrades, our friends, and our loved ones who have extreme solidarity with George Jackson University. The intent of us putting these videos together is to give you an idea and clarity on what George Jackson University is. So today we have Thutmose Sankara, who is a dear friend of mine who has been of great aid and assistance with the work that George Jackson University has laid down in the past couple of years, maybe like 2 years. I have been consistently able to call on him to do the work of George Jackson University. And even longer than that, he has answered the call when necessary towards Pan-Africanism. So I want at this time for Brother Thutmose to give us some background information as to who he is.
Peace and blessings, African family. Um, First of all, of course, I was able to be involved with comrades who were organizing the George Jackson University. Comrade Akili Shakur had a chance to correspond with Comrade Alubalo Shakur out from Pelican Bay. Um, and over the last year and a half or so, I worked with Sister Keela and Sister Comrade Alafia to bring about the conceptualization of the idea that the sister has come up with, which is an exemplary one because it's revolutionary in nature based upon using what has been a weapon against us and turn it back and using it as a weapon back against the oppressor by organizing the brothers within the prison system in order to educate themselves politically to understand where they are being political prisoners of the United States government, the imperialist government of the United States, and understanding that that is their position in world history, with there being 2 million people in prison in the United States, 1 million of them being us, and understanding that that is a genocidal activity akin to slavery, and we must organize ourselves against that. So my personal experience, I had the blessing to be able to study with some internationalist comrades. I'm from Florida, and some comrades from Cuba took me under their wing. Was able to train with their engineering corps there, and be exposed to not only just Pan-Africanist political ideology, but internationalist political ideology based upon solidarity and connections, not only from here in the diaspora to the continent, but also throughout the world, involving ourselves with all anti-imperialist struggles and making that as the front. Now, on the personal level, as to deal with where we are in the United States as revolutionaries and political prisoners, that solidarity must be understood, that it is a worldwide solidarity based on class divisions that have been set up, of course, by the imperialist system. So from the viewpoint of uh, the internationalist perspective, the Pan-Africanist perspective, and the socialist revolutionary ideology that has been the framework by under which all of contemporary revolutionary, successful contemporary revolutionary structures have been organized. So we must understand that this internationalist socialist solidarity network connects all the way from the prison systems within the United States up under the hand of the imperialists, all the way into the front, as we see now in contemporary times in Syria, in Africa with AFRICOM. This is a link. This is a connection. We must put it together ideologically to understand that it is an internationalist effort that we are involved in. George Jackson University will produce the cadres that will go out and be involved in the internationalist struggle. And based upon understanding that worldwide socialist solidarity and being versed in political history, being versed in whatever their trade is they will be taking up, as far as mechanics or carpentry or welding or whatever it is, have them be able to be trained in the trade and connecting that to the political ideology, because that's the way the comrades put it down on the island. You go in, you build bridges, you put wells, people get water, you help them organize their infrastructure, and you win the support and love of the people, and like that. So for us to understand the position we are in as Africans in America, in the belly of the beast of with Western imperialism, that cadre has the ability to truly overturn the whole worldwide imperialist system by understanding politically where they are and taking advantage of the time that they have in the prison system to train themselves and their minds, as our people have historically, going all the way back to Malcolm and, of course, others. On a personal level, I've been involved in activism since around, I had a chance to go to the island in 99. Came to Atlanta in 2001. Became a member of the New Black Panther Party, served as chairman there till 2004 or so. And since then, I've been a political commissioner and Secretary General with the World African Diaspora Union, which is the African Union has the continent broken up into 5 sections, 5 regions. The diaspora is the 6th region, so we deal with affairs with dual citizenship, repatriation, making business connections back and forth to the continent. And it's a chance to deal with the Pan-Africanist revolutionary struggle directly with the governments and people on the continent who are involved in that struggle at this particular time. And not only the people, because we know a lot of times that we have puppets and knuckle-toms in the governments on the continent and in the diaspora, but we get the chance to interact with grassroots organizations on the continent by going through government embassies and connecting to their organizations on the ground on the continent. So that is another extension of the idea of the fact that this is what our brothers and sisters need to be trained in, and understanding that we are part of a worldwide revolutionary struggle of African people, and that should be their sense and purpose for what it is that they're being trained to do at this particular time as we move forward upon the, like I said, the mass militarization of the continent based upon the natural resource base there with AFRICOM.
So let me let me ask you. I want to go back to inside of the prison. Now, a lot of times when we think of prison, we think of a place that people go that have committed crimes, who have done wrongs in society, and they are placed in these places as a form of punishment to learn a lesson, to come out, if they were to come out, a person who has transformed into an individual who can come back and function wholly in society. However, we do know as Pan-Africanists, we do know that there are particular realities in place that make it very hard for individuals to come out and function the way they need necessary. Because at the interim of it, a lot of people come home and they have to eat and they have to look for jobs and different things of that nature. But particularly, there are people out on the outside as well that have to deal with these same realities that may have never even been to prison. So I want you to elaborate a bit, and you did touch up on it, but elaborate on it specifically. Why such focus on the prison industrial complex? Why does George Jackson University hold a lot of interest there? Elaborate on the reasons why.
Well, beginning with the name, George was one of the most clear and articulate revolutionary ideologues that I've ever read, and just the miraculous revolutionary struggle of him and his brother Jonathan. The spirit of that goes forward with the effort of George Jackson University because their sacrifice has been an ultimate one. A lot of people make sacrifices, but theirs were the greatest of their lives in the course of revolutionary struggle, in the moment, in the time. Of course, as Jonathan Jackson Jr. Wrote in the prologue to Soledad Brother, realizing that they were committing revolutionary acts in a reactionary time. So we hold their spirit to be saints of the revolutionary struggle and realize that this is the time for the ideas and tactics and strategy of George to be implemented. And so from the beginning, it is based on a proper honor based upon George's struggle within the prison system. But personally, for myself, having served time in the federal system of United States prisons, and based on revolutionary activity, the Joint Terrorist Task Force of the FBI arresting me and for weapons charges, and going into prison and connecting with comrades and elders from the civil rights movement and the revolutionary struggle. Tulu and Veronza Bowers, who I got the chance to spend a lot of time with, helped me to understand that the connection between the revolutionary efforts of our comrade elders before and what we are doing right now has to be connected in a way that the syncing, the linking of that effort is joined by those comrade elder warriors giving us the information and the tactics and the strategies that they went through for us to go forward with, while we implement, of course, new technologies and things in the revolutionary struggle that we have access to at this time. So that connection from inside the prison system, from the comrades, like I said, Mutulu, Mumia, Baba Bowers, Sekou, everybody, that connection has to be gathered by us, all of that wisdom, and taken and used and implemented at this time. So since they have them captured, we have to go to them there and get their contributions. That is that we it is a seminal work whereby which we record the the trials and travails of COINTELPRO and all the murders and ambushes and the prison sentences. We need to record all of that for posterity, so our people, our children, have that to go forward with in their struggles, as they will record ours.
Right. And how does that serve those of mass incarceration? What type of effect does George Jackson University have on those of mass incarceration? We have people who that are incarcerated that's never heard of a political prisoner, or know what it means, or never ever heard of the term Pan Africanism, like being inside. They may have 6 months, they may have 2-3 years. How does George Jackson University stand to have any type of influence or serve them in any way, as far as how you understand?
Well, inside the system, like we're organized. I know more so in the federal system. The Conscious Brothers, you got Nation of Islam, you got Moorish Science Temple, Hebrew Israelites, you got a lot of, so we kind of organize on one front culturally inside on that basis. Now, of course, there are other fronts, brothers from the same city, from the same state, they usually link together. So you have what we call the Georgia card, the Florida card. So that's how we are organized inside. So for us, it's going to be an effort, a joint effort based on those cultural groupings inside, because they're the ones that have the most understanding of Pan-Africanism and what it is to be a political prisoner. And let that spread from there, from inside. And of course, the revolutionaries inside the system, whom are operating, of course, independently or in groups that they form inside. I know Matulu and others have form groups inside and bring people from the outside in. So we can utilize all of that to teach, have a new renaissance inside the system, whereby which all of the cultural African groupings, all of the spiritual organizations, religious groups of progressive mindset inside the system can be the street team, for lack of a better term, to spread the publication of George Jackson University throughout the system in order for brothers and sisters to educate themselves on what it is to be a political prisoner and the worldwide revolutionary struggle of revolutionary Pan-African socialism.
And where do you see the community fitting in as far as George Jackson University is concerned? How will it interact with the community, or what type of impact do you think it'll have on the community, meaning an everyday African man, woman, and child in the community?
Um, well, from my perspective, I do political prisoner advocacy. I have a show on 89.3 FM Atlanta at 7 p.m. on Friday, the Political Prisoners Report. So I see brothers who are inside, they may be incarcerated somewhere locally, and they hear it, and they hear the programs speaking of political prisoners and what's going on with mass incarceration in the United States, and they come out and they come to the station and they make their donations. So that lets you know that they're inside and thinking about it now. So if brothers are being trained inside under the George Jackson University, they're gonna come outside and want to perpetuate that for the, for the rest of the brothers that are inside now. So we, organize tasks or whatever, whether copies got to be made, mail stamps for mailing, whatever. But I think it'd be more of a self-perpetuating entity based on it continuing to be revolutionary and independent, and of course being prepared for whatever battles, legal and otherwise, is going to come up with dealing with the United States prison system and getting brothers this information back and forth. So I think that's the way we should think about it. Security, organization of the ideas to be spread throughout the system, and out here having the infrastructure to be able to support it on the inside as the brothers come out and then contribute back to it, so that it becomes a self-perpetuating entity that's genuine, that brothers would truly contribute to, because it has the spirit of what they've been through by being incarcerated as a part of the organizational effort.
And to sum it up, I think that George Jackson University will create, in its core, a dynamic of individuals who will come out to serve the interests of the African man, woman, and child in the community and across the diaspora, as you mentioned. But even there are those who may not even see the light of day, they still too can make their contributions. But at the seat of it all, we understand that we need resources.
Yeah.
We need resources to develop certain economics, so those people that do come out to serve, will be able to serve them, and it goes hand in hand. And but at the core of all of that is an absolute need of commitment, discipline, loyalty, and ideology. And I want you to kind of give us a wrap up of what's at the core of achieving those principal things, because we can attain a lot of knowledge, but how do we achieve those principles that are at the root of African unity?
The perspective from coming from inside the prison system, that old Nation of Islam, clean the brother up inside and send him back to enhance the community and take care of the African man, woman, and child, of course, is the idea, the basic idea. But the ultimate effect would be to change the whole idea of what they intend to do with us with incarceration, and make that a weapon back against them by giving our brothers and sisters the knowledge to understand politically what perspective they are in from the standpoint of incarceration and how the system manipulates from the courts and the lawyers and all of that. And the legal um, education, of course, should be a great component of it as we continue to carry our battles against the system by being able to use the university as a means to self-educate brothers, as they often do inside, to learn law. It is amazing how that occurs. That is another effect to make our people more aware of their defense of themselves legally. All these cop-outs and pleas where we should be taking it to trial to make the system pay for their efforts at mass incarceration. That is another advantage that the George Jackson University will bring. And of course, as we said, to organize the cadre of revolutionary Pan-African socialists that will move against the imperialist system all over the world based on that political ideology that they gain inside, and taking that and involving it in their communities wherever they are in organizations throughout the United States and the diaspora.
Well, we thank you, and we thank you for sharing this video with us. So, name me 2 things that you, within your own self, can make a contribution to as far as George Jackson University.
Well, first of all, as soon as I get back to Atlanta, I'm going to make a database of the books that I have, and it's just natural to me because I, continue to be able to write back and forth with comrades inside, still do my political prisoner report, still. So to contribute in any way that I can, having that experience of being incarcerated based on my political beliefs, and being out here in the community and being able to work and having that connection with them back inside, to let them know that, hey, look, when you come out here, you got a community, you got people who are struggling, to come on home to. So that's another thing I'm definitely going to be involved in. Looking forward to the comrades who are coming home, or two who will be coming home soon. Um, Getting support for him as he comes back, so that we are able to have access to his wisdom, and things of that nature, whatever is needed. Like I said before, copies, whatever books, things that we need, and of course, being able to go back and forth to different cities and build it up, to organize it in different communities and areas.
And can you give us, again, the radio station information, the radio
Yes.
broadcast?
In Atlanta, WRFG 89.3. On the web is WRFG.org. And the show is What Good Is a Song? And at 7 p.m. on Fridays, the Political Prisoner Report with Brother Thutmose Sankara. Thanks, sis, for your continued effort and concern about our comrades inside. People do a lot of activism, but sometimes when it comes to the prison stuff, people shy away. So I appreciate all your efforts towards creating the George Jackson University, which will be a great tool in the liberation of our people.
Mm-hmm. And again, this video documentary, it serves as a tool to educate and organize the masses of people, to be an inspiration to the masses of the people, to do work for the people, forward movement and progress towards creating the African men and women throughout the world who can serve the interests of themselves, which are the masses. You can reach us at www.georgejacksonuniversity.webs.com and see how you can make contributions to these efforts. Working within the prison system is only one front of organizing. However, it is a great one, because when we say mass incarceration, that's where the people are. And those places are set up potentially, to keep us there. And we have the means, we have the capacity to change that reality. We have the capacity to emancipate those people from those dungeons and have them come and join the African World Revolution. Forward, salute.
Salute.